Last time on Cyberphile, we went toe-to-toe with the unspeakable deep, picked our creed, and founded our very first sanctuary. Hey, what's going on, you unspeakable peeps? Welcome back to Cyberphile, in episode 2 of my From the Depths lore-enhanced Sodden Sanctuary playthrough. So, let's make some progress here. I should probably get my... here we go, get my shield out. There we go. So, as you'll notice, I touched on this very briefly on the last episode, that we're killing lots of kind of undead things on this island, so... and I believe I said this before, but anything that dies on the mainland at sea, or somehow finds its way to sea, finds its way out here onto the Nameless Island. Now, what's kind of unique, or rather not unique, what ends up happening with why these guys kind of turn into zombies is, I mean, the salt kind of doesn't really preserve the body very well, and they kind of decay. Combine that with just a very long time of drowning. Like, have you ever like sat in the bathtub for like a really long time and you get like really pruny? Like, it's like that. Except for they've been in the bathtub for such a long time that now they're zombies. So that's kind of why they're like undead-ish. And I also mentioned that life essence is salt. Your soul is salt, and after a while, you can kind of tell that since the sea is practically a giant just collection of salt, that's kind of where people believe all life begins and ends, in the sea, which would definitely explain the whole burial at sea theory, and how so many dead bodies, or rather now undead bodies, wind up here on this, on the unnamed island, the Nameless Island. Also, something that I wanted to talk about that I didn't really get to in the last episode is our items. I have red flasks, which are the healing potion of the three, and I also have red shards that I found. So, what red is a powerful healing agent created from the Cadanian Rogiella, which I talked about on the episode 0. So, the Cadanian Rogiella, I'm getting fucked up by this beast. The Cadanian Rogiella is this powerful healing grass, except for it's fairly rare and only found in Cadania. So, what people end up doing most of the time is crossbreeding it, or creating another flower by crossbreeding it. So what red is, they just call the healing agent red, so a flask full of red, is Crimflower, which was crossbred from, obviously, the Rogiella. Now, the thing is, with the three, they're always all political and stuff like that, so the red actually ends up being regulated very, very heavily, and you can't... you have to have a special sort of license to be able to produce and sell red. What ends up happening is that then people have started creating a black market for red, and that's what the shards are. People just sell like little portions of red, and so it's kind of a corrupt business, but that's what happens. So we're just kind of like making our way through the Festering Banquet here. What's interesting about this island is that, and this is something that we'll learn much later, but I just don't... if I leave it out, we're going to miss so much story as we go, and then like the last few episodes will just be nothing but me talking, and that's not what you want to see, especially if you've beaten the game and you already know what it's about. So areas on the island are actually sort of copies of the mainland, and how that happens exactly, I'll explain later, because I don't want to ruin everything. But just so you know, this area actually used to be a castle in Tristan. So we've opened up a little shortcut for us here. That's like a mini sanctuary. We can't level up or do anything at it really, but we can open it up for in case we die. You see, in Sodden Sanctuary, much like Dark Souls or Bloodborne, when you die, you go back to your last sanctuary. Now, how does this make sense? As you'll see, the enemies too have respawned. So if you look up here, I'm sort of peering out over some of the enemies that I've killed in the past. What ends up happening is, on this strange island, for some reason, whenever you die, you return back to that original life essence, salt. And then your salt finds its way back somehow. That way, even I don't know. Somehow finds its way back to the last sanctuary. And then you sort of get reborn, rebirthed, as you are now. And actually, let's fight our first mandatory boss, the Sodden Knight. It's a great introductory boss, but what you want to hear is the lore, not why he's such a great introductory boss. Well, I'm happy to tell you that I roll like a... Damn, I roll really badly. I gotta get used to that fat roll. What you need to know is that the Sodden Knight doesn't have a whole ton of lore behind him, but he was one of the powerful and proud Tristan warriors. He, however, has been on the Nameless Island so long that he no longer remembers what he's doing up here at the top of the Festering Banquet. He only knows that he must defend it. Ooh, that was bad. So he just kind of sits here alone, defending a castle that doesn't need defending. It's kind of sad, really. But it's just the way the lore cookie crumbles. Jump that, wait for the... Ooh, you got me with that last hit. Ooh, I was able to quaff a flask before he hit me there. Just lay into him a little bit there. There we go, we got him. That was a tense moment there for a minute. But first mandatory boss down. Now, the Sodden Knight doesn't need to defend anything because he's dead. Dead for good. Because bosses don't come back, and there's not really a lore explanation for why that is, but oh well. I think I need to lose the shield. Yeah, without the shield I can roll fine, but the shield makes us fat roll. And I was actually thinking about my builds, because I want to do the poleaxe build thing, but it's so much cooler when you two-hand the poleaxes, so we'll see if I end up using shields at all in the future. Let's meet another NPC, the Masterless Knight. Greetings, traveler. Do you have a quest? Yeah, kinda. Rescuing a princess, I haven't seen any princesses, but don't lose hope, friend. Anyway, it's good to have a quest. Would you like to know what my quest is? Sure. Excellent. My quest is to invade that castle to the east, defeat its guardians, and slay the dragon. Castles must be invaded and dragons must be slain, mustn't they? I mean, yeah, right? Getting into this castle is a different story. There's a bridge to it, but it's missing bits. There's another way in, but it's not easy. I saw a passage beneath the fortress you just emerged from. Perhaps it leads through to a village of sorts. There was a shortcut that connected the beach to the village, but it's been barred. Perhaps you can unlock it? I've heard something about a jester. The jester knows a way to get to places no one else can? Why does he talk like a teenager? Like a teenage girl with the question mark at the end of every sentence. It's easy to claim something. Until you can actually back up your claims, you're just a rumor monger. That's all the dialogue I'll have for us for now. But we'll run into him a number of times. Let's collect some items here. Got another black pearl, which we can use for our tree of skill. And when I was upgrading my tree of skill last time, there's a secret in here, by the way. When I was upgrading my tree of skill last time, completely forgot. I forgot to like get dexterity bonuses. And here we can is another sanctuary. This one is already claimed though by Pilgrims of Devara, the goddess of light. So let's level up first. And then I'm gonna spend my points on getting some crossbow skill. Some crossbow action. Okay, so we'll go that way. Because that'll give us dexterity and another health flask on our way to Class 1 crossbows. So let's see what the Pilgrim of Devara has to say. Hello, traveler. You're a stranger to Devara's light, are you not? Yep. We are pilgrims of the goddess Devara, illuminator of all. Without light, there is nothing. It is said, in darkness, chaos dwells, and in chaos, there is no hope. Every night the sun sets, and we see her light flicker, in candles, in torches. But the dawn of the next day is her blessing. Chaos is quelled, order is restored. Those who do not follow Devara are still welcome in the sanctuary. We will see to it that you receive rest and resupply. Pray to Devara at the earthen vessel. The water she pours will cleanse the shadows from your heart. So, clerics of Devara, their main form of proselytizing is their waters of blessing, which I have up there now from resting at the shrine. So they offer healing to anyone who asks for it, and I mean that's a good way to gain followers, right? If you're hurt or sick and you know that there's somewhere where you can get medicine, regardless of whether you believe that faith or not, that's the way to go, right? So it makes sense. I'll talk a lot more about Devara once we get to a different point in the game. But for now, let's work our way back underneath this Festering Banquet that we just came out of, and head towards that village that the Masterless Knight was talking about. So before I was talking about how you can kind of build your own character and make your own story, I thought maybe here I could offer you some suggestions about, just, I don't know, jumping off points for your own characters. So, I already talked about the Knight and the Cleric and the Paladin, because they are all secret. Because they are all, they sort of have a story attached to them due to their equipment. However, you have the chef and the thief. Now, you could easily make up a story about what they're doing. You don't want to fight this guy yet. He's pretty high leveled. So I'm just gonna run by him, get my item, and be on my way. So think about it. Like the chef could just have been a cook on the ship. Nothing too exciting there. But the thief, like maybe you're escaping persecution, and that's what got you on the ship in the first place, or perhaps you just wanted free passage over the sea. It's pretty interesting, actually. You could pretty easily make your own characters. Whoa. Man, he almost gave us a bad time. These guys are so cool. A lot of the enemy designs in this game are really neat. And a lot of them have, like, purpose behind them. That one doesn't, but many do. So, we'll talk all about that. Another interesting thing is these bats that we've been killing, the skull bats, they're actually on the mainland as well. So that means that somehow there's a way to get for the bats to get here. So that's just an interesting thought. Maybe they were on the ships too. Alrighty, we've made it back. We've given ourselves a nice shortcut through down below. And on the next episode of From the Depths, we're going to head down through there and see what village that Masterless Knight was talking about. So I will see you then. Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more Cyberphile content. And if you like this video, show me with that little thumbs up button. If you liked this video, you might like one of my other videos. You can click right on the boxes to jump to them. Cyberphile, offline.